Good?
Good.
What are we reacting to?
I don't know, some video somebody sent us.
Some random video?
Some
How
random
many views
video.
does this thing have?
I don't know.
If you say like 200, I'm going to, like, what the crap?
57,000 subscribers.
Okay.
3,000 views in 4 days.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, that's good, but
Let's take a listen.
it'd be good for us.
Yeah, but we suck.
Deadbeats need to watch more of these videos.
You think so? I think it's because our content sucks. People just hate us. That's probably what it is.
Is that what it is?
Must be what it is.
The most challenging part of building any estimate is finding the right parts in stock and at the right price. Now, you could open a bunch of tabs, search each vendor's website, enter your customer's vehicle information, and compare pricing and availability. But if you're following the 300% rule, this can take up a lot of your time. That's why Lucas and I both use PartsTech at our shops. It's one website to see an unlimited number of parts and tire vendors. With one click, we can import parts and order them from multiple vendors all at once. And here's the best part. PartsTech is absolutely free to use, and your shop management system is probably already able to connect with it. To get started, just click the link in the show notes or go to partstech.com/podcast. That's partstech.com/podcast.
So it's a beautiful, bright, sunny day here. I'm at my mom and dad's in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm going to start her car for you. And so, starting the car. It's quiet, isn't it?
Ugh.
Quiet.
That was pretty rough.
So, my concern is this.
No, it's not
My mom
quiet.
took her Volkswagen Passat, as you can see. It's a Passat.
The fact that that's a Volkswagen is concerning that it made that noise on
It's already
startup.
starting, yeah.
You Googled this and you found this video. This is real important for you to listen up. She bought this car. It's got 120,000 miles on it. She bought this car brand new. That car's running just like it should. The frustrating fact, though, is this. They told my mom at the dealership that it was going to be, can y'all see that? They told her she needs a new engine. $22,000. Now, of course, I wasn't here because I live in New Orleans, Louisiana now, but $22,000.
So you saw that they recommended a rebuild.
They're going to rebuild the engine?
That's what it said.
Okay. So that's complete tear down, all new parts.
Yeah.
Plus machine work.
That seems pretty odd.
That is a little odd.
I mean, for a dealer?
No, the dealership will rebuild. I've had dealerships recommend rebuilds, but they're usually priced like that. But I mean, just instantly.
Inability to get parts?
What's that?
Inability to get parts?
To get a reman engine?
Mm-hmm.
No. They're trying to sell her a car.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was part of the conversation we had yesterday.
Who?
The gentleman that's doing the keynote this morning.
Yeah.
Right? It's about selling the car.
Well, sometimes. I think that they've gotten to the point, what is that, a 15, he said?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so at a 15, that's 8 years old. Like, it's time for a new vehicle. The dealership wants to keep her in the network. It's not going to be in their best interest. Forget about the consumer, but forget about the driver. It's not in the best interest of the dealership to continue to repair this vehicle. So at startup, with that rattle, I mean, it sounded like a timing chain. It didn't sound like bottom end problem.
Right.
Engine knock.
Some of these dealers, are getting super stingy, super greedy, right?
No, I think that's a normal.
It seems like it's getting worse. I mean, I told you about Toyota yesterday, or that Toyota.
Yeah, but
dealer.
you said that Toyota dealership was sketchy.
They are, but I'm just saying, like, they won't even give us part numbers now because.
Okay, well, that's a different conversation.
I agree.
I'm just saying that you walk into the dealership
mm-hmm.
with an 8-year-old Volkswagen.
Their job's to sell you a car, not fix it.
Their job is to give you a reason to buy the car, as opposed to fixing this vehicle that at this point they don't stock a lot of parts for.
Do you think their technicians feel that way? Do you think that that technicians are on board with that, or do you think it's just a service advisor? Like, who makes that decision?
It's got to come from management, in my estimation. I don't think anybody is. I don't think anybody's doing it of their own volition. They're just gonna, hey, we've crossed the threshold here.
Okay. All right, let's keep listening.
Said she needed a new engine. I asked him, I said, well, did you check the DTC codes, which is the diagnostic testing of the codes? They said, well, we did, but we can't get that to you just yet. So those that know me, I came into town, and from there, did a little research on Google and realized this was the only thing.
Google certified mechanic.
So a quote of $22,000 to repair my mom's car, replace the engine, right? So I came here and did a little Google and did a little research, and it said that it had a P303 code. And that P303 code means that there's a cylinder in the car that's not firing, it's misfiring, something's wrong. Let me tell you why. And I was able to fix this car, and I'm not a mechanic, I'm a real estate broker. But I did a little Googling. Here's her car, purring like a kitten, runs like a top, because I spent money on these spark plugs. Can y'all see that? I know those of you out there that are good mechanics.
Oh my goodness.
Are probably
geez. Pause that. Hold on now. Now, why would you pull the spark plugs out and show it to the world? Like, what's wrong with if you wanna make a video where you call a dealership a scam, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Put the dealership on blast. And you didn't understand what you were walking into. The mom probably didn't.
Yeah.
But the average consumer doesn't realize that the dealership's incentive is to keep them in the network, and they understand that as the vehicle gets older, the likelihood that they're going to come back to the dealership for repairs lessens as the vehicle gets older, and therefore it is in their best interest to get them into a new vehicle, a newer vehicle, even if it's used, right?
Yep.
And get them back in so they come back in for more service, and it just cycle keeps going. That's what the dealership's entire business model is around. And so they didn't know what they were walking into. That's fine. You want to put them on blast. I don't begrudge them. But then to say that there was nothing wrong with my car, after admitting that you don't know, you're not a mechanic, okay, so there's strike number one against you. The only information you have is from Google, so strike number two.
Yep, and a diagnostic trouble code.
I'm trying to notch strikes against him. And then number three, you then start the car for the world to hear the rattle. I heard the rattle. You heard the rattle, right?
Rattle.
We heard the rattle. The rattle's there. Okay, so I don't work on cars, but I know enough that if my customer's car starts like that, we have a problem.
Yes. Yeah.
And it may not be that it needs to be entirely rebuilt. I might recommend chains, tensioner, guides, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But then we pull the spark plugs out and they look like that.
Yeah.
Especially number three. Does that look like number three?
That's probably
number three's been burning some.
Well, and here's the thing is so it is going, in his mind, it's going to be fixed for a while. Right?
Sure.
And so the problem is that mom's car is going to act up again. There's no way around it.
Mom's car is going to act up again.
That's going to happen.
And that rattle is going to get progressively worse.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's going to start throwing P0011, 12, 13, 14. It'll start throwing the
and so with what we see right now, there's a good chance that there's probably two problems, right? Volkswagens burn oil, substantial amounts of oil in some cases. And that engine was one of the ones that was known for it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I had a client go through 4 quarts and like 1,000 miles, and our local Volkswagen said, it's normal. It's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah,
about
I
it.
think they say one quart between 750 and 1,000 miles is normal, which blows everybody's mind every time you tell them that.
Yep.
And they're like, "Well, what do you mean?" It's like, yeah.
Well, we can't create emissions with gasoline anymore. We've got to do it.
Yeah, I know. We're going to burn the oil. So your 5-quart engine that is going to go 15,000 miles in between oil changes will need to be topped off 3 or 4 times in between oil changes. That blows everybody's mind. They have no idea. The manufacturers aren't telling the consumer. The consumer's not informing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They think that 15 Passat is the same as an 04 Passat, which had its own problems.
Yep.
But I had a nice Camry before. I had a 97 Camry before. That thing didn't burn oil. You're right. It didn't burn oil. You should have kept it.
We should have invited the Volkswagen representatives that are here to review this with us.
No, they designed them that way. And they're like, we design it to be a turd after 36,000 miles because then they have to buy another one. But they're getting that German engineering for those 36,000 miles.
This is a woman in her late 60s. The dealership told her she needed a new engine at the Volkswagen dealership in Madison.
There's no chance that the mom is in her late 60s. How old do you think that gentleman is?
I even bought the damn tools.
Who knows?
All of this.
I feel like he looks older than me, and I'm old.
I don't know that he looks older than you.
Is it the salt and pepper? It's the salt and pepper.
I don't know. You kind of got the wrinkles coming in and the back over here, right? Like, it's just because you're bald, man.
Is it the bald? The mom's 69. That makes him. He's probably, and let's say mom had him early, so maybe late 40s and maybe 50 tops.
Right.
Is that what I look like?
It cost me less than $100. So if any dealership out there tells you your car's messed up, take it and get a second opinion. Do a little Google, do a little research. It may just be a spark plug on your vehicle. And so the mileage on this car, so you can see.
I don't have a problem with getting a second opinion.
No, second opinions are great. Second opinions are fantastic, especially when they come to my shop.
Well, but here's the thing, is that second opinion needs to be from a reputable source, and it needs
not Google.
You cannot Google and have the knowledge or the ability, right? Because what this guy's done is he's gone and he's changed these parts, and it didn't fix the car.
No,
right?
no, it fixed
a misfire that they had right now.
It fixed a symptom
of the failure
of the underlying problem.
It's going to come back. It did not fix the car.
Not properly.
And they would if
it's a Band-Aid.
Now here's the thing, if the dealership had done this repair, what would they have done? They would have been upset at the dealership. They would have been upset at the dealership. They'd have brought the car back. I can't believe you ripped my mom off. You didn't actually fix the car.
Spark plugs. But they didn't the problem is not the dealership did not communicate the repair properly to the customer, to the lady. They didn't explain it. They didn't say, ma'am, you are burning an immense amount of oil in cylinder number 3, which is causing a misfire. You have a startup rattle. Do you hear that noise? You go out there and show them.
Yeah.
You hear that noise, that rattle? See how it smooths out? Yeah. That's a problem. And number 3 cylinder, here are some pictures, is burning an immense amount of oil.
Of course. Absolutely.
This is an underlying engine issue. We can quote you out a replacement engine, or we can put you in a nice 2023.
Yep. Of course. Well,
that's a conversation at that point then.
But there again, it's like the documentation that I put on my repair orders, right? And I had to defend myself this morning against somebody who thinks that we didn't do a good job. I mean, and what do I have to defend myself with? I've got a piece of paper from another shop that has 2 lines on it.
Yeah.
Part, and this is what we did, right? That's all that's on it. No information about the testing that was done, anything, right? Whereas I've got this sheet of paper that explains all the testing that was done, the results of the test, why the test was done, what we expected the test to result to, and pictures of what was done and how it was done, the whole 9 yards, right?
Yeah.
And so,
but even if you have that documentation, if you don't explain it properly to the customer, So we avoid the conversation. We avoid the phone call. We avoid all that as best we can.
Okay.
This is a situation where the customer needs to fully understand.
A large investment like that, yeah.
It's not even it's not the cost, because we'll send $5,000 to $7,000 estimates to customers and never make any contact.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the issue. The issue is you're at a crossroads with this vehicle. Is your intention to keep it and drive it for as long as you can? Then we need to talk about a low mileage used engine.
To understand what the client's desired outcome is.
You don't blindly just throw a $22,000 estimate at her and then not make sure that she has fully understood why you are quoting it out, what the situation is, what her choices are. That's not doing a good job.
Here's the thing, is that I've recently found myself in a situation where I'm writing 3 $40,000 estimates, right? Back to back, right? Different vehicles.
40,000? Is it a diesel?
Yeah, it's a diesel.
Okay.
And so I'm writing these huge estimates, and what I'm doing is I'm providing multiple options. Here's the OE option. Here's the aftermarket option as a complete with every part, everything it needs. We buy it, we bolt it in. Here's the one that we have to change some parts from the old one and put on this one, and we have to put this in. And here's the downside of doing it this way. Here's the upside of doing it this way. And then here is if you wanted to tear down, and what you need to understand is if I tear it down, I have no way to say beyond a shadow of a doubt that we're going to be able to fix this. So it might be that you just wasted that $3,000 to tear it down, but here's what our options are. And so I'm trying to paint a whole picture of the total options available to the client, and I'm explaining that to them. And the hope is that in explaining it to them, I don't have this situation. They don't take it somewhere else and say, well, he didn't tell me this, he didn't that. Now, one of these situations I didn't do that. I priced an engine because I could take a borescope and I could put it down in the cylinder, and I've got pieces of the cylinder all over the place, right? Like I've got pieces of piston. I've got the sidewalls of the cylinders are scored and like lines straight up and down. There's no reason, right? I can't salvage that engine. There's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, it's either one extreme or the other, it feels like. They'll take that truck somewhere else, and the other shop will say, oh, man, I'll tell you what, you just go ahead and fix that head and just put it back on. Don't worry about them pieces, and it'll be all right. And then I've got another shop who's going to say the only option is to put an engine in it, right? And it's I think we've become so adversarial in the auto repair industry that we will go to any length to throw somebody else under the bus, whether we have all the answers or not.
I don't think they're trying to throw anybody under the bus per se. I think they want to be the hero. It's a hero complex.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
And they're like, I'm going to save the day. And part of that is going to require me to sort of tell you, oh, that last guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I have the answers, though. So trust me. Does that make sense?
It does. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It's really prevalent in this industry. It's weird.
It is. And it's kind of stupid, right?
It is stupid. I mean, you can it's not even in the best interest of the consumer that you're not really saving the day for them. You're just sort of inflating your own ego, and that's it. Yeah. You're making yourself feel really good.
And boys, are you creating so much of a nightmare for yourself?
Sometimes. Right? Sometimes it ends up working out.
Yeah.
The other shop looks sketchy. You look like a hero, and then you feel good about yourself, but really, what have you done? You didn't paint a full picture of the customer. You always give the other shop the benefit of the doubt and say, yeah. And, one of the things that I tend to do is ask for documentation.
Yeah.
So I get this call from a customer, this online inquiry is what it was. And they're like, hey, I want an engine replacement for like a 15 Cherokee or something like that. And I ask them, do you have it at a shop? Yeah, I do. Well, why aren't you having them fix it? Well, it seemed like a really high price. Well, what are they quoting you? Or remanufactured or a used engine? I don't know. Well, what's the documentation?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, did they give you a written estimate? No.
What?
Are you sure they didn't give you a written estimate? Didn't email you, text you? No. Well, ask them for a written estimate. And then you'll see the breakdown of everything they're doing. Yeah, I should probably do that. Okay, do that. If you want a second opinion on, whether the prices are out of line or whether it's the best approach or whatever, I'm happy to take a look at it for you. And he goes, oh, okay, I'll see what they say. And then I never got another reply.
Well, and here's the thing, is that's just it, is that as advocates for the client, that's what we're supposed to do. That's how we're supposed to serve the client. We're supposed to say, hey, like we shouldn't automatically look at it and say that the other shop is wrong. We should look at it and say, what's the evidence? What's the data? What do we have?
What do we have? Yeah.
Right. And it's, I don't know, it's silly.
There's 120,848 miles. And yes, the question you may have is, well, didn't they change the spark plugs? Didn't they advise?
That's a worn out Volkswagen.
It's wore out. And here's the thing: is what's bad is this guy really thinks he's helping people, right? This guy
thinks he's helping mom. He doesn't realize that at 120,000, that thing is done.
Right, but I mean, even beyond that, he thinks he's helping people. He thinks that by making this video and sharing this information, maybe there's part of him that wants to get the views, right? Because of the title, blah 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 blah, scamming women. He was looking for
scam.
Says major car dealerships scamming women busted. Right? He was looking for views here.
Well, with the title, yes, but he's fishing for views with the title.
He is, but what I'm saying is that he really believes in watching or in what he's saying here. He believes in his heart of hearts that this dealership attempted to take advantage of mom. He believes in his heart of hearts that he has helped mom. He didn't help mom. He just doesn't realize it yet. And he's really creating a situation where he's building more distrust in the automotive industry. And listen, there are shops that will take advantage of you. There are shops who will absolutely screw somebody over. I'm not saying there's not, but this isn't that case. And so let's save the clickbait for situations where
don't call it clickbait.
I don't know. I shouldn't have said that.
It is a little
triggered
clickbaity. I know,
but let's save these instances. I think we should be saving these instances where we call somebody out for a situation where they need to be called out. And there again, this goes back to Google reviews. This goes back to Facebook reviews. This goes back to comments about businesses.
A dealership is going to have 800 Google reviews and 4.5 stars. And that doesn't represent a good picture of the experience you're likely to have.
No. You miss where I'm going with that. I'm saying today I can go on. We drove by restaurants yesterday that I could go and leave a review for because I didn't like their sign out front.
Yeah.
And I can leave them a bad review. I can get online and make a video and share something about that restaurant. I can say and do whatever I like. It doesn't make it true. Right now, it's always been going on. Right, it's been happening for years. It's
amplified now.
Absolutely, because everybody gets to see it. Yeah. It's out there in the public eye. But let's reserve. I think that we miss the power and the weight of those reviews, and it discredits the value of what he's saying because there are shops that take advantage of women. There are shops who scam people, but this isn't that case. So it minimizes it. It minimizes
the other instances, the true instances. Sure, yeah.
And yes, the question you may have is, well, didn't they change the spark plugs? Didn't they advise her on the service maintenance? Didn't they advise her on anything? No, they just charged her $154 damn every time she changed the oil because she thought she was doing the right thing. And then when the spark plugs looked like this, they didn't have any common courtesy whatsoever to pull the spark plug at the Volkswagen dealership in Madison, Tennessee. You know who you are. This could have been fixed at the dealership.
He's not looking into the lens, he's looking into the screen.
I just happened to fix it for less than $100. Now, this is what also needs to be noted. My mom took that car in, not just one time.
I know, that's a lot better. A lot better. But as he's holding them spark plugs up.
I know, he's just making himself look
like a dummy.
Yeah.
Times over a period of 6 months to tell them and let them know.
Why does it keep looking at the screen?
The engine oil light came on, the check engine light came on. They looked at the screen, car, folks. Said, we don't know what's wrong with it. It's losing oil. Literally, they quoted on the paper, on the document that they gave my mom, there's no oil showing on the dipstick. They would top it off with a couple of quarts of oil, charge her over $100, and send her on her way. So Mom and Dad were going to trade the vehicle. We were looking up on car sites to determine the value of the property. And of course, we had to check that the engine light was on. It had 120,000 miles. The value of the car at that point was $3,700. Now, as we look at the car, it's 4 times that much in value for a $60 fix. Now, really quick, I want to give a shout out to Miss Patricia.
Oh, hold on. Time out. You did not add $10,000 of value onto that turd of a Passat by slapping in spark plugs. You still have the rattle. You still have the oil consumption problem. They were probably going to throw her $3,000 to $5,000 in trade-in value
but
towards the purchase of another vehicle. That is absurd.
You want to talk about scamming somebody? Now they're going to go sell this car for 3 times the value, and it's got a blown-up motor. Who's scamming who?
They're not going to get $12,000. I'm not going to pay $12,000 for a 15 Passat with 120,000 miles that rattles at startup.
Now, really quick, I want to give a shout out to Miss Patricia at the O'Reilly Auto Parts in Goodlettsville, Tennessee. She did a phenomenal job with helping me connecting this little machine. They don't charge you anything.
Oh my God.
Your dashboard. It checks what they call the DTC codes. And by doing that, it tells you what's wrong with the car.
No, it does not. 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 It does not tell you what's wrong with the car. It will not tell you what's wrong with the car. It will never tell you what's wrong with the car. A trouble code is a zip code. If you put a zip code on an envelope, it will not get where it's going. It will give you the general area that it needs to go to, but it will not get to the mailbox at the house.
That's Juan's.
It does not tell you what's wrong with the car.
That's Juan's go-to explanation. He uses it all the time.
Look, AutoZone came in the other day and they said, "Why won't you buy parts from us?"
I buy lots of parts from AutoZone.
I don't buy parts from AutoZone.
They have upped their inventory. It's impressive. I applaud them.
I've been around Dutch too long. I'm having a hard time doing business with people.
You cannot look at like, hey, 1994, the parts were junk at AutoZone, so I'm not going to buy anything.
That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because they keep telling people in my community that we diagnosed your car.
Okay, but O'Reilly does it too.
Now, I don't buy parts from Advanced Auto doesn't do it.
Advanced doesn't scan?
They may still go out and scan the car.
Yeah.
But what they are told to tell people when that happens, Napa will not do it.
Yeah.
And what they're told to tell people is, hey, this gives you an idea, right? I've heard what they tell them in advance. I would not buy parts based upon this. AutoZone and O'Reilly's have a complete system, and their job is to sell you parts. They know it's not going to fix the car. They've just got some.
They don't know. And we've talked about this before. I think 70% of the time it'll fix the car. They throw a code. Now, he's got misfires, so then the fault finder kicks in, right? What's the likely ignition coil, spark plugs? But, it's annoying, but at the same time, it's like the person working at the parts counter is making $10 to $12 an hour, and they were working at McDonald's yesterday. Like, they don't know anything. They're repeating back what they're being told by corporate. Corporate is just trying to get market share so they can pump up the stock value. They don't care about the consumer.
Obviously.
Did it to a computer, and it physically told us within seconds what needed to be repaired.
No, it didn't.
Now, here's something that's really important also. My mom told me that just 6 weeks prior to her being told that she needs a new engine, she had her vehicle in there telling them that the check engine light was on and the oil light. And while she was at that dealership in Madison, Tennessee, the Volkswagen dealership in Madison, Tennessee, there was an elderly lady in there that was weeping, crying, and my mom overheard them tell her she needed a new engine for her car.
It's a Volkswagen thing, okay? It happens all the time.
This is probably a 3 to 4 time conversation. If it's a busy dealership, could be more. It's every single day you need a new engine because it's a Volkswagen.
It's a thing.
At the time, my mom thought, Lord, I hope that doesn't happen to me because ain't no telling what those engines cost and how much that's going to be. So it wasn't just my mom this happened to. And that's why it's so important. I need you to tell me, this is for real. This is serious stuff. I need you to comment. Has it ever happened? Share your story. We got to get the word out. Because
No. This is a fundamental misunderstanding by the consumer.
Yes.
They assume that the vehicles being produced today, or the vehicles that have been produced in the last 10 to 15 years, are just like the ones that were being built 30 years ago.
100%.
And they do not understand that they are pushing these engines to the ragged edge for performance and emissions.
Yes.
And they are reducing the viscosity of the oil to reduce drag. And this is causing these engines to blow up at 75,000 miles. That engine is done. I don't care what they tell you. Oh, this car, my old Volkswagen, went 250,000 miles.
And this is not just a Volkswagen thing. This is not just
No, not at all. It is very much a German thing.
Oh my goodness.
Less so some of the other manufacturers. Ford, same thing with Fords. I think they're not meant to last past 100,000. Look at all the cooling system problems on like Fusion. They're number one selling like mid-size sedan. They sell more trucks, I get that, but they're number one selling mid-size sedan. They put that little turd 1.6 EcoBoost. They slap that.
Have
in
you ever
everything.
seen that thing? Have you ever seen just the block of that?
It's tiny. Yeah, we pulled one out for reasons I don't want to get into. Anyway, so those turds do not. They have a convoluted cooling system. You overheat them one time, they are done. They are done. And so you have a failure-prone cooling system. And it's something like where they stick the intercooler. Mm-hmm. It's in the very front. It just takes a little bit of road debris to come up, puncture a hole in that cooling system, or in the intercooler, dumps out all the coolant, car overheats. It's overheated one time. It is finished.
Yeah.
That engine will never be right again. And so now you're having to replace the engine. It's $8,000 to $10,000 on a car that's worth $7,500. Nobody's going to send. So what do? They just dump the car, go buy another one.
Basically, they're robbing people. This is just wrong. But also got to thinking, if they tell somebody they're going to replace the engine, and it really doesn't need to be replaced, it's just as simple of changing 4 spark plugs. If you paid them to change the engine, would they really change the engine? Because think about that.
Well, I want to hear what he says. He's going to get what?
I can get some simple green cleaning solution, spray it on the engine of any car, hose it down, and it will look brand new.
That is not true. Absolutely not true. Any professional could look at that and tell if it's been changed or not.
And if you're not a mechanic and not used to working on those things,
look, by the time the engine is out and then back in. Now, if you buy a remanufactured engine, what do they do to those? They paint them. Okay, so you can tell it's been replaced. But let's say you're rebuilding it. I mean, I guess you're going to hot tank the block, maybe?
You can see the gasket surfaces. Yeah, the block needs to be hot tanked. You can see the gasket surfaces. You can see that the bolts have been affected. You can see scar marks on the bolts. You can see
marks on the bolts. You can usually see the gaskets.
Subframe's been out of the car.
Subframe's been out of the car.
It's obvious.
Fluids have all been replaced.
Hoses have been replaced. Things like that.
Some of the hoses have been replaced.
It's obvious. It's obvious.
Yeah, I could see that.
Who's to say someone couldn't charge you $22,000 for a new engine?
This dude has no clue what he's talking
only change 4 spark plugs.
$22,000.
Charge you for a new engine.
I'm going to clean the engine. You're still going to have an oil consumption problem. The misfire is still going to come back. Mm-hmm. What have I accomplished?
Why would I do that? Why would anybody do that? It doesn't make sense.
Why? And think of how many hands that has to. The service advisor knows this is a scam. They're okay with it. They sleep at night and they're perfectly happy taking $22,000 from this little old lady. And then the technician is also in on it. And the QC guy is also in on it. And the parts guy is also in on it. And the service manager is also in on it.
Because he had to be in because he had to see a financial discrepancy in the business.
Absolutely.
Right.
How many people would have to check off on this? At this point, you have a crime organization.
Yes, exactly.
That they never replaced. So the moral of the story is this. always get a second opinion. I don't care who it is.
He is trying
I don't care
to-
if it's a real estate agent gives you a price on your house. I don't care
Plant
if somebody
seeds of
tells you
doubt.
it's on your car.
He's trying to
I don't care
plant
if it's
seeds
a
of
doctor
doubt.
says you have cancer.
But he's trying to create drama. He's trying to get people riled up in the comment section. He's trying to. This is a thing. This is what he's trying to do. Right. This is, at this point, if that's what he's going to say, I believe his whole intent with this video is to stir the pot. Right.
I think he's genuinely upset and he's trying to lash out. I think he believes this garbage.
Think so?
Yes, but it's coming from a place of misinformation.
Nobody's God. If somebody tells you no, perhaps it's just they don't know. And get a second opinion. Sometimes
O'Reilly's is not a second opinion.
O'Reilly's is not a second opinion. I don't, it's not always. Get a second opinion if you don't trust what it is that you're saying, what they're telling you. But if you've built a relationship with someone over time, you know who's going to go get a second opinion? It's somebody who doesn't like confrontation. Rather than come back and say, hey, what the crap is going on? They're going to go find a second opinion. I've had customers do that to me, long-time customers.
Yeah, of course.
And it hurts my feelings every time.
Me too, dude. It upsets me so bad. And it, you know, I brought up the airbag story multiple times because it hurt my feelings. And now
How did that one hurt your feelings?
She wasn't even
a long-time customer.
No, it wasn't. It was
Okay,
that
that
it
she
was
was
that we
talking
couldn't have
crap.
done anything different, right? It was that we did what we were supposed to do.
You did what you were supposed to do, and had she allowed you to do the repair, you would have made it right had it not fixed the vehicle.
Exactly. 100%.
Don't quit until you get the answer that you want. God bless. So listen, thank you for watching this video. I certainly appreciate it. And please share it with anybody. Share your comments. Let me know. Has this happened to you or a family member? Because I'm going to tell you.
I wonder how he would feel if all of his clients went and got second opinions.
Second
as a real
opinions
estate
every single time.
broker.
Yeah, every single time he quoted or estimated the value of a house, and they just kept going to somebody else. And I don't trust you. At some point, you're like, hey, I've been doing this for decades. I know what the hell I'm doing. Like, what is it that I'm telling you that's making you think that I'm not competent at this?